You're watching Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James.
And we're at the Throttle House test track for a drag race.
Look at that. Okay, 3 reasonably affordable sedans that pack a little punch. The Sonata N-Line packs the most punch and is the cheapest, with the TLX being the most dear. But when punch comes to shove, that's not right, is it? What actually happens?
We were dying to know. Also, for those of you who enjoyed our recent review of the Acura TLX, stay tuned after these races for a mini review of the new Sonata N-Line. If you're new to Throttle House, we do car reviews, track tests, and quite a lot of messing around. So subscribe and hit the bell. Okay, here we go in the TLX. Now, I have this roughly the same power as the Accord, but the Accord is lighter because it's front-wheel drive. This is an all-wheel drive system, obviously, SH-AWD drive. But I have the advantage of a little bit more traction off the line. The thing is that the Accord, even though it's front-wheel drive, still kind of just goes off the line. It's very quick, and it wins everything, it seems. However, James has been very smug in the N-Line. That Sonata over there, and it's bright red, and it's got a big fancy face, so I just want to be able to, take him. I feel like Karston over there, his incredible focus. As you know, Karston is incredibly focused as a camera operator and a driver. So that coupled with the Accord means that he's probably going to win. But I'm going to do my best, because that's all I can ever do.
All right, I've chosen the Sonata N-Line because I've been driving this around and it's pretty peppy. And am I worried about Karston in the Accord? Yes. If you're not worried about an Accord within the class of this car, you're a fool. The Acura though, I think I can take the Acura. I think the Accord might have me, but this is the horsepower and torque leader on paper. But what we've learned from Honda is that on paper means nothing. So we'll see what happens. But it's a very wonderful interior and it's a very lovely car to live with. So yeah, my guess is first Accord with Karston being focused, second with me in the Sonata, and Thomas third in the all-wheel drive Acura. The launch control in this is pretty good at mitigating wheel spin. Otherwise, it just will spin the wheels forever. 311 pound-feet of torque. That's a wheel spinner right there. All 3 cars are on winter tires as well. Important disclaimer. So it is fair. And it is freezing, -1 right now. Why do we live here? Time to go to California.
Okay, here we go.
Go!
Come on! Oh!
Oh, come on, Sonata. What is happening?
Smoke the Sonata off the line, and that, what the? This Accord, I swear to God, Honda, it's like a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. Look at it, it's just smoking me.
And the Honda and the Acura are gone. I can't even slightly catch up with them. Wow, that Accord.
It's ridiculous.
I'm not even catching them.
Ridiculous gap between these cars that I did not predict.
Oh no. I was so confident.
What happened?
It all went fine.
And it just
doesn't.
Launch control.
Everything was.
And it didn't really spin its wheels, it didn't look like.
No, the launch control's really good at dealing with wheel spin.
So
I'm in Sport Plus, I got everything. It's just not fast.
It's just not fast enough.
This is the N-Line.
That doesn't make any sense. Oh, what are they leaving space for the N? I don't know.
No, this has 290 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque.
These numbers don't make any sense.
I think the gearbox in those 2 cars is fantastic.
The gearing really helps
That
these
10
get off
speed?
the line, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
we saw the Mazda 6 with 310 pound-feet of torque.
Yes.
Lose for this in the same way.
Horribly, yeah.
But because of the 6-speed.
Yes.
So I wonder, this has 100 horsepower more than a normal Sonata.
It's bizarre.
It's been feeling quick. Like, it didn't feel any slower just then. But it's just when you put it in context with an Accord.
Well, the Accord is in a different bloody universe. None of this makes any sense, James. Like, I saw him go, I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
But the Accord doesn't feel that quick when you drive it.
No, it doesn't.
You just get to watch Sonatas disappear. All right, so maybe let's try and deal with the mid gearing, and we'll go for the roll race.
Go for a roll race. Okay.
Oh,
you never
man.
know. Never know.
Wonderful seats.
Seats, they're great, right? Yeah.
And interior.
Good front end too. Okay, time for a roll race. So I'm gonna manually shift and then it will auto upshift. Thankfully, makes things a lot easier. I'm gonna go for second gear. This is a very turbocharged engine, so I'm gonna try and get as much boost as I can.
Okay, roll race. And go.
Oh, down we go.
Go on, Sonata!
What's happening? No. What is happening?
Go on, Sonata! Oh, yes!
What is happening?
What a redemption! You know what that felt like? Did you ever see the original Dr. Dolittle where they think the rat's dying? But it just has gas.
Yes. What just happened? Is it really down to gearing?
Just gearing.
That's the only thing that
And
makes any
grip,
sense.
I guess.
And maybe some grip in there?
Yeah, well, because the launch control is trying to mitigate wheel spin. So, this wheel spins like crazy. So obviously, for it to be a successful launch control, it cuts so much torque.
It must. And like obviously the first and second gear in this aren't as tailored to off-the-line power as this. What the? That was the surprise result of the year for me right there.
I'm so happy.
I had absolutely no idea that was going to happen.
Oh, Shawshank Redemption number 2.
Yeah.
Sonata N-Line Redemption number 1. Take that, Andy Dufresne. Okay, so the launch control in the Sonata N-Line is nothing to write home about. In fact, it drops the revs it was holding as soon as you let off the brake. Also, like some BMWs we know, it makes you wait minutes in between attempts. Without it though, and trust me, we tried, it's a wheel spin extravaganza that produces the same disappointing results from a dig.
Which is not something that the Accord suffers from. So finally we get to see how much the more powerful TLX is hindered by its newly platformed 4,000-pound booty, leaving its Honda cousin to take it in both races. We like the TLX for many reasons, but yeah, as far as $50,000 four-cylinders go, it's not quick.
Apparently though, the Sonata N-Line is a roll race champion. So what else is it good at? That's a win. That's a win for the Sonata. There's also displacement at play here. This is the 2.5 litre turbo from the G80 and the GV80 if you go for the 4-cylinder. And it's pretty peppy. They've also fitted the 8-speed transmission. I'm just going to take this onto the track. I know Hyundai said, please don't do that, but you know, we're here right now, so if I don't do it, it's just going to be a waste of everyone's time, isn't it? They have, after all, added stiffer powertrain mounts, firmer dampers, thicker anti-roll bars, and they've put some more significant brakes on this car. So it's not like an Audi or a VW where they say R-Line or S-Line and it just looks slightly different. Hyundai have actually made this somewhat towards the end. And that results, even on winter tyres, in quite a fun, sporty experience, which, as far as I can tell, living with this, has given up no comfort at all. It feels genuinely quick around our track. I feel that the chassis is brilliant. It feels so easy to control. Steering is good. If you power into the corner and lift off, it will rotate the back end, but you can just, even with all the assists off, it doesn't completely break the stability control, which is annoying on a track. But how often are you tracking this? We loved the Sonata when we drove it last year. The tech, the comfort, and it's a really cool option beyond the Accord and the Mazda 6 and the Camry. There's a lightness to it that matches the Accord, you know, where the Camry feels heavy. This is much more Accord in personality. The winter tyre is doing it no favours, but this is genuinely quite fun. And it's not even the end. Look at that, throws out the back straight away. Just rotates, just like that. And then the stability controls cut in. Even though I got them all off. But who cares? The whole point of this is to have a fast, affordable front-wheel drive competitor to the Accord. And now you know that if you go toe-to-toe with an Accord, on the highway, you're going to take it. You're going to take that stupid Accord, and it's 10 speed. This is 8 speed, 2.5 litre displacement. I've got a lot of love for the Sonata N-Line. I'm not a big fan of the styling on the outside, but from the interior, I love the grey. It's so comfortable, cool seats, great gauge cluster. Hyundai have just been crushing it. And then they got the Elantra N, like the Veloster N was one of our favourite cars last year. Now this is good. I'm still buzzing from the win. Stupid TLX, stupid Accord. No, they're great cars too. But you know what? Sonata N-Line, big thumbs up. It takes some balls to grab a Sonata, call it an N-Line, give it a sportier look, claim big numbers, and I think I'm really glad Hyundai took that step. So Hyundai, I'm sorry for tracking the car, but guess what? I'm not that sorry because it's good and it deserves to be seen. Lots of wheel spin though. This thing spins its wheels a lot. That's just because it has so much power.
So, not a dig race king, and yes, it includes the cheap front-wheel drive performance starter pack, complete with no LSD, torque steer, and buckets of wheel spin. But whilst its looks might be divisive, its pricing isn't. It's cheaper than the other two by quite a margin, and one of our original complaints about the 1.6 turbo Sonata was that its engine felt a little gutless, so this fixes that. That said, the Sonata's strengths, even with the upgraded 2.5 turbo, are its ergonomics and tech. So if you're looking to save some cash and the top trim Accord isn't your cup of tea, and the Camry TRD styling isn't either, this represents quite a fun option. Thanks for watching.